certainty say that abortion at that stage is killing of life. But when the doctors know that there is definitely a possibility, if not probability, of the child to have been delivered and to be able to live as an individual, then on the application of murder would begin. That is a far more serious case than the previous one. So there are 3 stages of family planning. Number 1, when nothing has happened, when the 2 germs and the germ and the ovum have not yet met. So that is also prohibited if you do it for the sake of fear of poverty. But for other reasons, management reasons and things and that, you can take your own decisions, but you shouldn't take free license to do whatever you please. Man is created to reproduce, and for the survival of the species it is good. And particularly if you have a good message to deliver, a good conduct to create an example for the rest of the mankind, then you must reproduce more. This is exactly what Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam has spoken about or advised us very strongly. He said, I want my ummah to outgrow in number all others, because this is the best people which God has created. If they outnumber others, they will be a benefit to others. So he advised us, marry such women as are more loving and produce more children. So this is the common advice which should be borne in mind. Now I come to some other requirements which may permit you to exercise either prevention or even abortion. There the principle, one fundamental principle is this, that life which is already formed and established is superior in rights to that life which is in formative stage. So if there is a danger to the life of the mother of some sort, and the doctors determine that this child could be of some real danger to her health, then abortion, even at the stage of the life of the child, would become permissible, provided that it is also permitted by the law of the land. So there the doctors should take their cue from 2 different angles. One, the angle of morality as far as they themselves are concerned. And there the guideline, as I've already mentioned, as laid down in the Holy Quran. And second, they should take their direction from the law of the land. They should not violate that law either. So if you remain within the 4 walls of this, you're all right, you're safe.
Do you include the health of the newborn, new life as well? Is it fully formed?
No.
You don't.
That is a very, very controversial area, because if that principle is accepted, then you should also be permitted to kill the invalids and the patients who are suffering out of mercy and so on.
That's what's happening at the moment.
This is what is wrong. Thank you.
My last question was, if I have to do the same process as a part of a duty.
I say if you are within the 4 walls of what I have mentioned already, then you are safe. Right. Otherwise not.
All right, thank you.
Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Sophia Cheney. I'm new Aberdeen.
Yes.
Give me the honour of my sister and myself being our initiation here in January this year.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, a friend of mine regularly has a visitation of her father, ghost of her father visiting her, and also many of my friends have seen ghosts and spirits come to them. I just wonder, does the Holy Quran information for these?
Yes. As for the word ghost is a vague term which is understood differently by different people. Correctly speaking, strictly translating this word, it means the soul of a dead person revisiting earth and making contact with the people living around. If that is the definition of a ghost, then according to the Holy Quran, all those who die, they would never return to this earth. They are never permitted to make a contact with the living. So that sort of ghost is, experience of a ghost is an unreal experience. Either this, or it is a type of vision, or it is a type of psychic experience. Type of vision in the sense that sometimes God wants to give you a feeling of contact with your dear ones which you have lost. And sometimes you see them appear in real life as if they have come with the same body, dressed up like human beings. That is not a proof of the existence of ghosts, it is a proof of non-existence of ghosts. Because ghosts cannot wear that dress. The ghosts do not have the same shape. So I am surprised at those simple-minded people who think that because such experiences are common in the world, so there is certain proof of the existence of ghosts and they are making contact with the human beings, living human beings. When you see them as human beings walking like yourself and addressing you using the same word, you should immediately realize that after death, the soul does not have a form like yours and does not stand in need of dresses like yours. So it has to be a vision, either a vision or a hallucination. So vision can be distinguished from a hallucination by certain evidences, internal evidences and sometimes external evidences. The internal evidence is of some messages which they give to you, things which they speak to you, on which they speak to you, and sometimes those things are not known either to you or to others who died before these things. When these things come to pass, as they were mentioned, then you have to take this seriously and you must believe that it was Allah who organized this vision for you to give you satisfaction that you had met really someone whom you had lost. Now, when I say met, I do not mean that met really in the sense that a person really appeared before you. It's only a message that is a bridge of communication has been created by Allah, whereby you can assure yourself that something of the same nature is also experienced by the departed soul. And that soul is also sharing this pleasure of coming into contact with you. So these experiences must have an internal sign of truth. Sometimes there is also an external sign of truth, and that is created by Allah somehow, we don't know, but it does happen. I can quote an example which happened in our family. When my mother died, after that some time my father remarried, and one of our, we call them aunties, but she was more than an auntie. She was the auntie of my father, the wife of late Hadhrat Mir Muhammad Ismail Sahib. On that day, this news of the remarriage of Hadhrat Muslim Maud was published in Al-Fazl. She left that Al-Fazl just as it came, without opening it on the page where this was mentioned, and she went to